Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Georgia Karakasanis, and I am the Director of Client Success. And with me today, I also have Jamie Blasco, our Manager of Client Success. Today, we are going to discuss the foundations of a successful digital marketing strategy. And we'll be taking a look at social media, your contact list, your reporting, and we're going to really be focusing around the foundations of setting up your account for success and making sure, again, that you have a strong digital marketing strategy set up. So we're going to take a look at things like your posting frequency, what type of content you should be sharing, making sure that you're engaging your network, keeping your contact list up to date, contact list segmentation, and then I'll pass it over to Jamie for a 10-minute digital review and lead optimization. So to get things started, we want to first talk about at the foundation of a successful digital marketing strategy is really having all tools working together. There are ways to drive a large increase in client retention and the number of prospects you can identify and move through your sales funnel using all digital tools in concert. So you really want to make sure that you've maximized your suite. And we're going to talk about each delivery method, but it's really critical to ensure that they are all optimized and utilized. So for some advisors that are out there, perhaps you're maybe only using social media or maybe just the newsletter component. But again, you really want to maximize your suite, and we're going to talk about why it's so important to have all digital tools working together. So first, we're going to take a look and talk about social media. Now, a very commonly asked question that myself and Jamie and our entire team receives here at AdvisorStream is, how often should I be posting to social? What is that optimal posting schedule? Should I be posting once a day, once every other day, afternoons, evenings? When is really the best time to post? Now, the most important factor is really developing a consistent schedule and sticking to it. Your audience will know that they can visit your social pages at any given time and expect to find fresh posts. Make sure your first impression is a strong and credible one. You want your content being pushed to someone's newsfeed or having them start coming to you. And really the best way to attract them is to have something worthwhile for them to digest. Okay? Now, also remembering that quality trumps quantity. There's only one thing worse than not posting on your social media, and that's posting something that's not relevant. If you post poor quality content, you're actually more likely to lose fans and followers. So avoid posting to simply only fill a time slot in your schedule. Your content should have the goal of being educational and interesting, and really aim to focus on the principles of helpfulness and authenticity. Now, you also want to make sure that you're setting goals and objectives. This is something that's honestly very commonly overlooked. Consistently posting high quality, relevant content is the right way to go when considering how often to post to social, but you also want and need to evaluate your overall social media strategy. If you don't know why you're posting on your LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, you won't know if your posts are successful or not. So until you determine what your goals and objectives are, there is no way to really measure that success. So ask yourself, what do I want to achieve on social media for my brand and for my business and for my clients? Some examples could be increasing awareness of your brand, maybe driving more traffic to your website, capturing new business or capturing leads and prospects. Okay? Now, within your AdvisorStream account, you can manage all of this within your account and settings and your social scheduler. Under the send times is where you can set up your schedule of how often to post. Now, keep in mind that time spent online by all age groups is increasing, and so are expectations for increased communications and information. So if you're really only posting once a week, you want to move your way up, start with 3 times a week, every other day, until you're comfortable and you've moved to a consistent daily schedule. Okay? And then if we scroll a little further down as well in the content auto select section, This is where you can determine the level of automation that's best for you. Now, we do find with the automated posting, which is our most popular level of automation, it does have full control where you can preview the post before it's posted to your social media. But we do find with this level of automation, it keeps advisors consistent and make sure that they don't miss an opportunity. And then also always making sure that your social networks are connected. Okay? So we go in here under our social networks. We want to make sure that our Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter are all toggled on and set to green. Now, another thing to keep in mind is that 76 to 80% of leads are captured on social and then nurtured through your weekly newsletter. So if you're looking to capture new business, you want to really make sure that you're capitalizing on this opportunity and posting more frequently on your social media. And then again, we'll nurture those leads through your weekly newsletter. And this is the first example of how you can see those digital tools working in concert together. So now that you've set up your schedule, you might be thinking, okay, well, what type of content should I be posting to my social media? And you really want to look at this in a couple of different buckets. So first, you want to look at it and make sure that you have a different mix of content. So you want to make sure that you're including videos, infographics, and articles. And then take a look at it from the content side. You want to ensure that you're obviously posting financial wellness content that's relevant to you as an advisor, but also posting some of your firm content. For many of you, if we work with your head office and you're part of our integrated partnerships, there's a very good chance that we bring in all of your firm content. And we find that firm content performs really, really well. Investors consume it, and there's certainly an appetite for your firm content. So sharing that to social media is helpful as well. And also include lifestyle content. Okay? You want to go beyond finances, okay? Including content like food and wine, travel, health, wellness. All of these topics perform really well. They pique curiosity, and they really help you connect in an authentic way and build those relationships. And then lastly, including some of your own content. Show that you are a thought leader and pair that beside the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times and help that content reinforce your messaging. Now, don't overthink it. It can be something as simple as something you may have done this weekend that you maybe want to share with your clients. Doesn't have to be a big, lengthy article. Just find ways that you can really bring you and your brand closer to your clients and share and tell a story, especially after the last year and a half that we've had. There's a very good chance you haven't met with your clients face to face. So again, if we go back into our Advisor Stream account, under our social scheduler once again, if we scroll to the very bottom here, this is where we determine what content we would like to post to our social media. So taking a moment to review all of the publications and most importantly, the topics that you allow and anything you'd like to exclude. So the next thing we want to discuss is engaging with your network. Remembering that social media is a community, it's a dialogue, and you want to insert yourself in the conversation. So a few do's. So do like, comment, and share other people's posts. Do unto others as you'd like done to you. Join these social networking groups, especially on LinkedIn. There are a number of really great groups that include thousands of individuals where you can share your thought leadership and find prospective clients. Follow and connect with people. Start with your clients, and work your way from there. And ask for introductions. Your networks and your social media is filled with opportunities. So reach out to some clients and ask them for introductions or anyone else within your network. A couple of don'ts. Don't lack engagement. Valuable engagement is the most powerful aspect of social, and it's really up to you. Don't non-include your contact information. So you really want to make sure on every piece of content that you're sharing, there's easy ways for investors to reach out to you. So remembering to keep that information up to date, again, within your account and settings. If we jump over into the profile and brand, under your profile here is how you can keep that information fresh and up to date. Don't forecast and sell. Really focus on building relationships and reserve this for later on in your sales funnel. And lastly, don't expect immediate results. It does take time for a digital marketing strategy to take effect, so do be patient. So now we're going to switch over and talk a little bit more about the email communication channel. And I wanted to start things off by sharing this Cerulli study, where they surveyed a number of investors, and they found that investors on average receive 26 touch points a year. So a touch point can include a phone call, an in-person meeting, an email, a client appreciation event, all kinds of different touch points. But all age groups reported wanting more contact. So that this means you need to be communicating with your clients more than twice a month just to be hitting the expectation. At that point, you're not even exceeding it. So it's really critical to provide regular, effective communications with your clients. And investors are expecting more frequent communications and high value information. So keep this in mind when you're thinking about your social or your newsletter automation, right? A lot of times advisors might say, hey, is once a week too often? How often should I be sending a newsletter? It's important that once again, you are providing frequent touch points that are high value. Now, what powers your newsletter is your contact list. So you want to make sure that you're keeping your contact list up to date. Okay? Take into consideration who you're communicating with. You always want to make sure that you're adding any newly acquired clients to the list. Okay? Also adding in the children of your clients as we're approaching and within a period of a great wealth transfer, you want to start to build the relationships with the children of your clients. And add friends and family members. There may be people within their network that could be prospective clients. They have the opportunity to forward your newsletter, so include them in there as well. Also creating contact lists for your prospects. We're going to talk and really focus on how you can use your analytics to do some further tailored communications to prospects and really ultimately convert them into a client. But it's a really great tool to use for prospects as well. And then making sure that you're communicating with both spouses. If they share a single email address, then having them both in the name field so that the newsletter is personalized to both of their names and not just one or the other. You also want to make sure that you're monitoring your undelivered emails. So ultimately, you want to ensure that your newsletter is being sent and delivered to its intended recipients. This is really the foundation of your email marketing strategy. So frequently monitoring your undelivers will help you determine if you need to contact some clients and ask them for their new email address. And then lastly, you want to ensure that you're sending a welcome newsletter to new subscribers. Any new contacts or prospects you upload into your contact list. This way you're setting that expectation. They know what they can expect to receive from you moving forward, and that, hey, I'm going to be providing you with really great content from these amazing publications. Also consider segmenting your contact list. Now, there's ways that the AdvisorStream platform can automate this for you, but there's ways that you can do this as well. And there's a number of different criteria you can take a look at. I mean, contact list segmentation is endless. We've listed some examples here for you. Different life stages, different products or services. You can take a look at segmenting by account size or hobbies. Once you've segmented your list, you can start to send some further tailored communications based on the different contact list segments. But at the very foundation, we encourage you to segment out clients versus prospects, because your strategy for these two, as you start to work and mine your data and your analytics in your account, is really going to be quite different between those two segments. Now I'm going to pass things over to Jamie, who's going to take you through a 10-minute digital review.
Thank you, Georgia. So once again, my name is Jamie, and I am the manager of client success here. And once again, what we wanted to focus on here is the 10-minute digital review. And something that our team does a very great job of is helping you with your strategy. You can always book in a strategy session with an Advisor Stream team member. But what we really want to focus on is just like checking your voicemail and your email, we want you to schedule a weekly time in your calendar to take a look at a 10-minute, 15-minute digital review of your Advisor Stream content, your automation, and what's going on there. So part of some of the main things that we suggest with this is taking a look at what new publisher and firm content was added, a quick overview of how your efforts are performing, and what trends are you seeing that you can possibly take advantage of. So moving into the Advisor Stream account, we'll be able to take a look in the report section and see some of our key metrics with our newsletter here. And some key metrics we like to point out are our delivery rate, our unique open rate, and our unique view rate. These are some metrics that you want to check to make sure that you are performing close to or above industry average there. And you can see any definition for that you would like to see over what these stats mean. You can hover your mouse over the number there and you'll be given a clear definition. So taking a look at our open and view rates and taking a look to see what trends have been emerging here. So at the bottom of our report section, we can take a look at our most viewed articles, most viewed publishers, and most viewed topics to see what our client and prospects real-time focuses are from our newsletter. And we can use this information here to perhaps prepare ourselves for future communications or even custom communications that we may be preparing. I like to focus mostly on the most viewed topics, as these are going to give us a great idea of what our clients and prospects real-time focus is at this point in time. Now, what we also want to do with our 10-minute digital review, I like to say that our reports is a great place to look at numbers and trends for all of your people. But for if we want to dial in on the actual people themselves, we're going to take a look at the most engaged contacts and their recommendations, disengaged contacts, as well as our leads and referral sources. So once again, from within Advisor Stream, we can go into the contact section here and go into our manage and engagement and activity section. One thing to check up from our manage section is to see, as Georgia mentioned, do we have any contacts who are currently undeliverable, whose email may have expired for whatever reason? And we can take the email status drop-down menu and click to find our non-deliverable clients. And with this, we can go through and either click on them to update them. We can select all and export them if you'd like to take them offline. But essentially, we would definitely recommend for you to be updating those as you go. Now, going into the engagement and activity section, this is where we will be able to see a sorted list of our most engaged newsletter recipients by the most page views. So who has read the most articles from within our newsletter? And from each person, we can click into here and see their individual consumption profile. So for this user, which is actually our CEO, Kevin Mulhern, we can actually see all of the newsletters he's opened, but more importantly, we want to focus on the content views themselves. What articles have actually spurred this person to click further and read a full article? So you can see we have a mix of lifestyle articles, a housing market article here, and we can really use this information to our advantage in preparing for future conversations with this person, or even a note for us to reach out if we haven't spoken to them in a while. So this information is greatly valuable to knowing what your clients are interested in. Now, we'll also be able to see under shared content here, if that person has forwarded on any articles to people outside of your contact list, which can get you new leads. Also, right beside that, we have the recommended section. And this is, I would like, one of my favorite sections and features of Advisor Stream is we'll be able to take the articles that Kevin has recently read, or this person has recently read, and see what topics those were and suggest new articles with those same topics that you can now go through, click on the little email envelope button right there, and email that article over to that user to either follow up with them or maybe just even start up a conversation. We always want our goals from our follow-ups here to be targeted at starting a conversation. You can think of your everyday life, and we are always talking about content. Hey, did you see that article? Or I was reading this, or I saw this on the news. We want to take advantage of that with the premium content that we have in Advisor Stream. Now, the last thing that we wanted to cover within our 10-minute digital review is definitely our leads and referral sources. So within the Advisor Stream leads section, we will have an automatic setting where we can automatically go through and thank them. So within your account settings and your lead capture opt-in, you can turn on your automatic thank you. Now, with that, they will also be added into your weekly communication. So as soon as a person opts into your Advisor Stream articles, they're added into your weekly newsletter, and we'll continue to hear from you on a regular basis. Now, 3 and 4 is the part that we want you to be undertaking. So monitoring their engagement using the tools that I showed in the last step, and then proactively follow up. And this is where your personal strategy comes in. Maybe you wanted to book a strategy session with our Advisor Stream team to talk about some best practices, or based on what you know about the client and what the data is telling you, decide how you should proactively follow up. And that's where, we want you to be proactive, to send somebody a thank you, to reach out with an article, introduce your, and really let your digital presence flow over into your real life self. Connecting those two things is one of the best practices and best things we could suggest. Is once you have somebody come in through your digital, introduce them to your real self and get that conversation started as soon as possible. And with that note, I actually am going to pass it back to Georgia for our closing notes. I once again would like to thank you for your time, and I would encourage everybody to adopt some time on your calendar right now after you watch this video, and for a 10-minute weekly checkup on your Advisor Stream.
Thank you everyone for listening today and joining us. If you do have any questions, please feel free to email us at support@advisorstream.com or visit our resource center for other helpful tips, tricks, and best practices. Thank you so much and have a great day.